starting of the granite quarries in Graniteville started with my grandfather, Jonathan H. Hazelton. Now, he migrated from Salem, New Hampshire in 1865, and sometime between 1865 and 1880, he located granite down here in Graniteville and started what is now the Stastard Granite Quarry, presently known as Swanson Granite, or Rock of Ages. As near as I can determine, the first quarry was in the northwest corner of what is now the Stastard Granite Quarry Hole. That's where he started. The granite, there was no railroad here then, or no trucks, so granite was loaded on those big army wagons. You perhaps never saw one, but they were huge army wagons, and drawn by 4 horses and loaded at North Derby, taken to North Derby, and loaded on the cars on the railroad. Later, Jonathan Hazelton took David Moore into the company, and the company became Hazelton and Moore. Jonathan Hazelton died in 1890, and my grandmother, Mrs. Hazelton, sold her share of the company to Mr. Moore and Mr. House and others who formed a stock company, according to them. The quarries must have developed fast because between 1890 and 1912, Stastard Granite had bought the Hazelton Moore Quarry, and James Brodie had started quarrying south of the Stastard Granite property. Samuel Norton came in and started another quarry south of the Stastard Granite property. By this time, the railroad had built a branch line from North Derby to Graniteville, so granite was then shipped by rail from the quarry. In the early 20s, Graniteville saw a huge paving and curbing boom. They used the paving for city streets paving, and the curbing, of course, lined the sidewalk. It was drilled up in the right size blocks, and then the paving cutters split it all with hammers. At that time, there was 150 of them here, 150 paving cutters in Graniteville. I haven't any idea where it went. Sherbrooke, Quebec took a lot of it, and Montreal, of course, had paved streets then. All the big cities had paved streets. They used them rather than concrete or brick. 1922, 1925 was the greatest boom that the quarries ever saw here. A lot of stone moved. Prosperity lasted until 1929 in as far as the mills were concerned. But the granite industry kept up, had a pretty good trade until 1931, when the Depression got here and closed down everything for 7 years before, except for the odd little order of curbing which came along occasionally, and we had some Swedish boys here in Depression time that started a lot of small quarries in the district. Tony Hendrickson was one, and Carl Nielsen, and John Hawkinson. Most of the paving blocks came from Graniteville, Brownsburg, and Vinyl Haven, Maine. In 1938, business started again in a small way. Well, when I started granite cutting in 1922, at that time, air tools had just been introduced as pneumatic tools. Before that, all cutting was done by hand. The rough stone was pointed down with point, smoothed out with a point, and then used a big hammer, a peen hammer, what it's called, a peen hammer, to take off the heavy part of the surface. Then other hammers, we call cutting hammers, would be used after that, till it was down to a smooth surface. But after the air came in, then things were a little bit easier. Then they got pneumatic tools, and that did away with the peen hammer, because everything was done with air tools then. It was, of course, an improvement over the old way. And you were given in the granite shed, you were given a rough piece of stone, various sizes depending on the order of that went along with the stone. base or die, whatever, cap or whatever it was. And you had a diagram of the thing that you were supposed to make. You made the piece of rough stone that you had there into what was on your diagram as near as possible. That was back in the days of Craftsmen. That's gone out of style with the new methods of cutting stone, which is wire sawing and diamond sawing. Has taken away all the labor of the handwork on stone, and of course then sandblast is taken over from the old professional carver who used to carve letters in the faces of monuments and flowers in the corners and all that. He doesn't do that anymore. The granite industry always paid more than the machine shops, about 20% more, I would say. I've seen all stages of the granite work from 1922 up, including leather cutting and a little bit of carving. I have run sandblast, I have run wire saws, I have run surface cutters and polishing machines. There was a few accidents, but there's accidents in all businesses. No, I don't know. Well, occasionally a man got killed, but nothing too disastrous. Well, most of the old cutters died of silicosis without knowing what was the matter with them. They knew they had dust on their lungs, but what to do about it? There was nothing to do about it.